Welcome everyone to our live hacking series. As you know, we don't hack real-world targets here, instead we do ethical hacking exercises on cybersecurity training platforms. Today, we are on HackTheBox. We tackle challenges live for the first time, so you can follow along with my thought process. The goal is to show you exactly how I would personally approach a hacking challenge when I don't already know the answers. Let's get started. Well, let's try do this one today, why not? It is a newer one from the high rating ones. So let's open this one. Let's select adventure mode and let's hit start machine. While that is starting, let's make sure we are connected to the HackTheBox VPN. There we go, we got a box here saying connected, that's good, and now let's wait for this machine to start. In the meantime, we can go to our other workspace and let's go to our HackTheBox folder, machines, and let's make their data, cd into there. Get our directory ready. There we go, we have the IP actually, so let's copy it, try pinging it, and looks like we are good to go. Let's clear that and let's start with an nmap scan. As always, we are doing all ports, extensive scan, and of course the goal of this nmap scan is to identify all open ports and running services so that we know what we want to target on this machine. Let's also save our results to a file named nmap.txt. And let's start the scan. Perfect, and I'll be back once this finishes. And there we go, our results are back, and we have 2 ports open, we have 22 SSH and 3000 HTTP. We usually can't begin solving the box from SSH because we don't have any credentials, and it's very rare that HTTP boxes have SSH RC vulnerabilities or something like that. So, as is almost always the case, we need to look at the HTTP service. Let's view it in a browser. Have the IP here, port 3000, and seems like we have a Grafana instance. We might not be familiar with what Grafana is, so let's just do what is Grafana, and that is a leading open source platform for data visualization and monitoring. Okay, now we have a rough idea that it is a platform for data visualization. Something else we had here, nmap found a robots.txt file, so let's go to it, and we actually don't have anything interesting here, it just disallowed the root. So let's go back, let me zoom out a bit, and here we have a version, so we might want to quickly check if this version has any known exploit. So let's try to Grafana version 8.0.0 exploit. And we have something from 2021, directory traversal and arbitrary file read in Grafana 8.3.0. This one is older, but that doesn't guarantee that it still has this vulnerability. It could have been introduced in a newer version. So it looks like we have a script here, and it is targeting, let me zoom in, it is targeting public plugins, and here it is doing some traversal. And here we see a description, Grafana 8.0.0 to 8.3.0 is directory traversal. So then that could mean that our version is also vulnerable. So why not try visit this directory here. Okay, we got redirected back. Okay, we had something else here. We have another script. Let's check out this. Is it the same thing? CV 2021 43798. It's the same one. Okay, so it affects 8.0.0 beta to 8.3.0. Now this one doesn't say beta, so I don't know if that means it does not apply to our case. Let's check out exploit.py. Is it the same one? It seems to be bigger than this. Okay, I'd say let's try running this script and see what happens. Let's first git clone it. Let's just cd into there. Let's set up a virtual environment. There we go. Let's go back now and let's pip install -r requirements.txt. Here we have collect all Grafana URLs in a single file, for example, targets.txt. Now we did have such file here. Not sure what that is. I assume it is for targeting multiple Grafana instances at the same time, because here we do see that the author checked showdown data and found 2000 servers, so maybe that is meant to be used by filling this file with a lot of Grafana URLs. So let's just try and start the exploit and see if it's gonna ask us for a target. Okay, that's a big error. Not sure what that is. Cannot import name mapping from collections. Let's just code here. It seems to be an error from Python itself, and ChatGPT here is suggesting that we maybe want to run it on an older Python version. So it appears that this exploit was written for an older version of Python, and we basically have two options. We can either try to run it with an older version of Python, however that could be a headache, or the other option is to try and change the exploit to be able to work on Python 3.13.11, which is the current Python version I'm running. And I think I want to try changing the exploit today. So let's try do that with AI. Let's open a terminal. Let's see if I have open code installed. No. So let's quickly install that. There we go. Let's open a new terminal and we have it now. So let's just do open code in here. And let's just do, can you update the Python scripts to work with Python 3.13.11, I think it was. Yes, 13.11. Okay, it seems like it did something. So how about we try the Python 3 exploit.py again? Okay, it seems like it is running. I'm not sure if it is gonna work, but the script is at least running so far. So we see domain files not exist. Let's try taking this URL here and in targets.txt just place it here. Let's remove this login part. Let's save and let's run it again. Let's do targets.txt. Let's just do it with /targets.txt. Okay, it's doing some checks. However, I see it is doing 2 slashes here. So let's go and remove one here and let's try running it again. Okay, and this time it seems like it is maybe working. Do I want to try and extract the passwords from the data source? Sure, let's try do that. And we have a secret key here. Okay, and so now we have this directory. Let's go and see if there's actually anything there or it just pretended to work. Actually, I have it in VS Code here, so here, that's empty, that's not empty, looks like that is a file. Okay, password is here, so we definitely have path traversal. We have a Grafana user, seems like we don't have a main user. SIMD line is empty. Do we have anything here? Probably not. Okay, so it did also pull out this secret key, which I wonder if it has to do with the Grafana DB. So let's go to, we are already there. So let's do file, grafana.db. So it's an SQLite database. What was the client that we could use to interact with that? I think it was SQLite 3. Yep, let's try grafana.db. Okay, so we can do .help for usage hints. Can we do .tables? Okay, we have some tables. Can we do select all from API key? Now let's try again. Select all from API key, semicolon. That seems empty. What about select all from user? Okay, so we have admin and we also have Boris, and seems like we have hashes here as well. So let's take this hash. Let's try maybe a rainbow table attack. So let's go to CrackStation. Let's see if it is some known password. No. Can we do something like a hash identifier? Okay, I can't type. Zoom in and let's try this. Not sure what that is then. Can we do something like describe user? Maybe try this. And our table is user, so we have ID, so that is that, version, that, then we have login, yep, email, then we have name, which is this, and then password, which is this, and then we have salt as well, and runs, and then we have some other info as well. So I assume that is going to be the user which we log in onto the web interface with, because from what we saw, there is no Boris user on the Linux box itself. We did also get this secret key. I wonder if we can try doing Boris and just try this secret key. No, okay. So then we need to figure out a way to crack this, I assume. Do we have anything in org users? We have admin and viewer. So let's do something else. Let's go to ChatGPT again and let's ask, is this a standard Grafana database structure? I want to figure out if these tables are just the default ones, which they probably are, or if this is something custom for this challenge. Okay, so it seems to be standard. So it says cracking is maybe not usually the path. So ChatGPT says we shouldn't be trying to crack this, but I am more and more inclined to try and somehow crack it. Let's search for something like Grafana DB password hash cracker. Is there some tool that people have created about that? We have Grafana to hashcat. That sounds useful. Okay, that looks like the same case we have. So let's copy the script and let's create it. Let's just create it in this folder, I guess. Yeah, sure. Paste it here, save. Let's exit this. Let's do Python 3 Grafana to hashcat. So we use it by so we do the hash and then the salt as it seems. I think that's how I understood it. Salt value. Yeah, so I think what we need to do is take this part, which is gonna be the hash, and let's create a hash.txt file. And then I believe this is the salt, right? When we looked at the schema, we have the password first and then the salt. So I'm not sure if we are gonna need this value as well. Hopefully not. If we don't need it, then hopefully this will provide the correct hashcat formatted hash we can try and crack. So let's do Python 3 Grafana to hashcat.py and let's provide it the hash.txt file. And did we get the hashcat hashes.txt file? No, but we got this here. Yeah, that file was not declared. So let's just do -o hashcat hash.txt. Okay, and now we can do hashcat like m10900, hopefully. Hashcat hash.txt, and let's do user share word lists rocku.txt. Let's see if that is going to start doing something or it's gonna fail. Oh, seems like it worked, and we have a status of cracked, and we have the password, which seems to be beautiful one. So let's take this password, go to here, and let's do Boris, and paste this password. And there we go. We seem to have logged in on the Grafana interface, but I believe we are not going to be able to log into SSH using that because we don't have the Boris user here, right? So I can try do that. SSH Boris at, and let's find the IP somewhere. There it is. And try this password. Oh, actually that seems to work. So let's cat etc password. Okay, so that password file, not sure where it came from. Yeah, that's weird, but this one seems to be different, and we seem to be on the box. So we have the user.txt file here, Let's cat user.text, and we have the user hash. Let's go and try submitting it. Paste here, submit. Okay, it was valid, and now it is time for Prevesc. Before we do any fancy checks, let's just try and look around the file system, see what's up. We only have Boris as a user in home. That is good to know. Do we have anything in opt? Nothing in opt. Anything else interesting here I missed? Do we have bash history? That's just our activity. cat.profile. Nothing interesting. Okay, so I guess we should start running some standard checks. Let's see what groups we're in. It's just Boris, sudo tag-l, and okay, so we have permission to do docker exec star with no password, which sounds like it should be able to provide us with high privileges, right? Maybe we were looking at a Docker container here. Oh, okay, so that is probably the case. Can we do sudo docker ps? Probably not, right? Yeah, we can't. We have the password. Hashcat hash.text --show, and there is the password, which was beautiful one. So let's paste it here. Can we do docker exec? So I'm not sure how we would be able to list the container. Maybe try grafana and then bin sh. So it was -it here, which I missed. Oh, so it was Grafana, it seems like. Cat etc password. Yeah, so that's the etc password that we were looking at here. Good, and we are root here, which is cool, but I assume we need to become root on the main box. Maybe cd into root, see if there is anything there just in case. Cd root. Oh, it's permission denied. Let's cd into home. Grafana. Anything here? That's just our history again. Let's just ask something like how to move to full root access. Like, I assume we can do that with this user. Yeah, it's a good idea. Can we do cat etc shadow? No. Okay, that's for sure interesting, but I think we can do a few more checks on the main box first, and then we can come back to that if there is absolutely nothing else of interest. Here I did some checks which didn't return anything useful, and then ran linpiece. Okay, it's just slowing down a lot on the AWS enumeration, which it shouldn't be doing anyway. I don't think I have the patience to wait for it to finish. It did find that it is vulnerable to copy fail, but copy fail is newer than the box, so it wouldn't be fair to do this even if it works. Now here we have two kernel CVs from 2021, which are older than the box, which we maybe could try. Dirty Frag is another CV from 2026, which would be unfair to try, so let's not try it. I still feel like that usually, since we have the sudo rights on docker exec, it's probably something to do with that, but either it or these are rabbit holes for sure, so we are either gonna jump in the rabbit hole right now or we are going to hit the correct path. So let's just quickly look up this CVE and see what it is about. Overlay fs. We have GCC in the box. If there is GCC on the box, that's usually a sign it might relate to a kernel exploit, or a kernel exploit might be the correct path. So do we have GCC? No, we don't. So that usually is a slight hint that kernel exploits might be rabbit holes. Let's check if this other CV has an exploit which is not in C, but rather in Python, for example. Here it is, but we probably need to compile it again. So in that case, I would say let's go back to the sudo permission we had. So let's take this first of all, go to ChatGPT and let's do any known ways to execute code from this. Here I stared at some slop and tried some stuff for a few moments. I hit the correct path without talking, so you will hear my explanation after I had already done it. Okay guys, after quite a bit of consultations with ChatGPT, I think I did it, and I'm going to explain what happened. The initial idea is that because we can execute commands within the container, we can try mounting the host file system on the container from the container itself, because that's the only thing we can do with having sudo rights to docker exec. And so if we try mounting with our Grafana user, we get permission denied. So let me show you. Yeah, let me just do it again. If we I just did this, which I saw from ChatGPT, but if we just start a shell as before, and if I now try to do, it's already here, but if I just, that's because I already did it a moment ago, but if we just do mount def sda1, let's just do mount 2, let's make there mount 2. Okay, let's just use another directory, let's just do make there def shm mount whatever, let's do def shm mount here. As you can see, we get permission denied, are you root? And so by consulting ChatGPT, I found this command, which, since we have sudo docker permissions on docker exec, basically running it as a root, we can just specify which user we want to end up as in the container, or which user we want to execute the command within the container. And if we just do root here, and we of course do sudo here, and for container we do Grafana. Now if we try this same command and we try to mount the host file system, basically, as you can see, we don't get any errors. And now if we go into this directory and let's go to root, cat root.txt, as you can see, we get the root flag. So let's lsla here, we have a .ssh directory, so let's cd into .ssh, let's cat .ssh, our public key right here, let's copy it, let's do nano, do we have nano, do we have vim, how about v, okay, so let's quit, let's v authorized keys, hit insert, go all the way to the end, let's paste our key, right quit, cat authorized keys, okay, that looks good. And now if we do ssh root at exit IPA, have the IP right here. If we ssh into root at this, as you can see, we are root at data, and you can again cat root.txt, but we also have full root permissions. So let's copy this, submit the root flag, and the machine is solved. Okay, that's gonna be it for this box. I hope you enjoyed this walkthrough. More walkthroughs from the live hacking series are on your screen right now. Check them out if you want to watch more of these, and see you next time.